Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
We're back for episode 222 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. My name's Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Today you're going to find a lot of good info, a lot of insights, teachings how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
The essentials.
Yes, all the basics. Before we get into all those teachings and insights, our sponsors from today's episode, we got four great sponsors. They're all back for more. The first one is Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they're always in stock and ready to ship. The Massenomics podcast has also been referred to as the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper of podcast before.
I like that. Yeah. I like that comparison.
Yeah, Massenomics listeners can save 20% at Lifting Large on Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Today's show is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. When you're there, make sure to use our discount code. It'll save you 5%. That code is MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps. Actually, someone just emailed the other day asking about coaching, if we had any advice, and I said, go to Hybrid Performance Method.
I got a person for you.
You can save 5% on any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. That's what I told them. All they have to do is use code.
He said, I feel like I have an answer to this question.
Yeah.
I feel for a second.
There's something in the back of my head. Is it about supporting sports performance or the ground lock deadlift slipper or barbells being born? No, it's not those.
Strap?
Yeah,
no, a strap.
Last and of course not least, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, and world records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit texaspowerbars.com. And I can vouch for the maintenance-free part. Mm-hmm. Got a few of those around our gym. Never done anything to them.
And they've been put through the ringer.
Yes, and have given them no maintenance. Actually, not true. Brushed them down a little bit, oiled them a couple times.
The basics.
Yeah, it's not necessary, but it makes me feel better. So really maintenance free.
It's nice to have things that look nicer.
Yeah. So those are our four sponsors for the show for episode 222 here. We do have a guest for this show, but of course our format, we're not going to talk to said guest right away, Julius Maddox.
Yeah, we got to do some of our own talking first.
We're going to talk about our own things a little bit, but I am curious to see what Julius has to say.
Yeah, me too.
We talked to TD Smash last week about the big beasts of the bench meet, but I'm curious to hear what Julius has to say too.
Yeah, for sure. So we are recording this today. Yeah, July 1st today.
Yeah.
So we are
first
halfway through the year now.
Yep.
And we kind of wrapped up our Crispy Boy Summer giveaway.
We did.
And that was fun.
That was, it was 30 shirts
in 30 days.
In 30 days that we gave away for free to our loyal supporters that were following along on Instagram. It was fun, except for picking someone. Just like picking one a day is not, you wouldn't think is that bad, and like just picking and shipping that one shirt. But I'm kind of glad that it's over because
because when orders come in off the internet, that's just like the order's there. You do it. Like here, you got to reach out to people, get information from them, find out what they want.
Yes.
It's a few extra steps than just taking orders.
It's way more intensive, actually. Mm-hmm. Like it's surprising how much more for just that one. But it was cool, and everyone was really appreciative of it. Like everyone that won was super stoked. We actually gave away a few bonus ones here on the last day, so I think we ended up doing 34 shirts in 30 days.
Don't say we never did anything.
No,
right?
no. Really? Don't say we never did anything. 34 shirts. That's not nothing.
No, it's not. And it was cool to see because a lot of them, the people would be so jacked, you'd see posts, and then a couple days later, you'd see them with their shirt on.
Yeah.
So it's fun to do something like that where we're giving back a little bit.
Which is funny to think because like in 2016, when we first made a few shirts, before this was even really the company that it is right now, you know, like
it was
when
a different thing.
Yeah. Like when I just had like 20 shirts and like I wouldn't even give them to family members without them buying them, you know,
this is gold.
Yeah.
It doesn't get given away.
Like, no, give me the money. And when there's no site and you have to collect cash from people, there's still people that owe money for those original run of shirts that never paid their $20.
Yep.
And now
the interest rate on those.
Whew, they owe like
not gonna be good.
Oh no, they owe like $23 by now.
Yeah. And the other thing of significance, I mean, it's no 200 podcast reviews, but we did hit 30,000 followers on Instagram this month, which again doesn't really mean a lot. And the higher that number goes, the less it really does matter for anything. But it still is kind of cool. Like it's a cool, big even number.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's cool. We know that followers don't directly transfer to sales necessarily or that sort of thing, but it kind of has to, right?
It does matter to an extent with that being our primary marketing channel. That if Instagram did go down tomorrow, the business would be in a very weird spot. And when I say weird, like there'd
bad.
Be bad. Yeah. Bad is what I mean.
Yeah.
Outside of emails, we wouldn't be able to communicate with people very easily at all. So
the emails though have been cool. You can sign up for our email list on our website. I think it's at the bottom of like every page, and also maybe just even pops up once you go onto our page. Or when you order something, you can sign up for it there. And we've started to send out more emails on things, and I don't know.
We send them out. People get out sales, things like that. People get all over it. So
when we have cool emails to send out, that really makes you feel like a real company does it.
Real business. That's right.
What I was going to say about Instagram though is Instagram, I don't know if you want to say the algorithm, that's such a generic thing, but something has changed big time. And anyone out there that, I don't know if we have any listeners that have their own Instagram business pages, can vouch for us on this, that they have changed something drastically. And I've heard a bunch of people in the space say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I just heard Huck Finn, for example, talking about it, or Steffi Cohen the other day, and Hayden both talking about it, that like Huck Finn, he's got 170,000 followers. His numbers almost overnight, not over last night, I don't know the day in the sand day, but went down like to a 10th. Like 1/10 of the engagement that he was getting prior
on the engagement numbers.
On his posting. What I'm kind of talking about is like the rate of followers.
That's changed drastically too. And you want to say, like, for us looking at it, it's how much is Instagram putting you on the discover page and places like that.
Yep.
But even that, it doesn't completely add up because it seems like something's off. But for us, you know, we make a lot of memes and we've been doing this a long time. We know that a funny meme can generate well over 100 new followers.
Yes.
There's no debate about that. That's how it's always been. And it seems like as you get bigger, that should almost continue to reach even more people, more funny memes.
Right.
Something happened where a funny meme can get 2 followers now.
Yeah.
And you can see in the numbers that it just something doesn't add up. They did change something.
Yeah. The meme itself it can still get 50,000 views. It can still get 4,000 likes.
Thousands of likes.
And we have had some ones lately that have been hitting on a lot of cylinders that have been going really well, but they just are not converting to the followers like they used to. And the Instagram machine is behind it somehow. I don't know how it all works. None of us do, of course, but there is something there. There is something at play. And I've tracked a lot of other companies similar to us in the same space, and they are facing that same thing. There's still things like contests and that sort of thing that people will get bumps from that you can notice. But in general, the velocity of new followers for almost anyone that I see has tanked.
Yeah.
But how is that good for
well, obviously they're trying out different things. They're trying to push different content in front of people. And for whatever reason, they've decided that the meme format that we're doing isn't something they want to get out in front of people. But
I wonder too, like if the business pages, because that's an option to switch to a business page, which we are a business page versus a personal page. If they're regulating those that are not paying for any advertising, because we don't pay for any advertising on Instagram.
We've never done an ad on Instagram before. But maybe I don't. It's so much of it is speculation. I'm sure there's someone out there that would claim to have all the answers on this, but
because we don't pay for advertising. What we do is make
content that we think is
that's a little original, a little funny, and it kind of
the way we get paid back is by it has organic reach.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And like we've said this, I think, a few different times where it's like something has changed. And a lot of times by the time we even talk about it, something's changed back again already.
Right.
Like it's always moving around.
Yeah.
It's a guessing game.
It really is annoying though how much control they have. On it.
Well, and this to a bigger extent, this like highlights the problems of people that are like YouTubers when they say like YouTube can just turn off videos on them or like just demonetize them overnight. That's really scary too. Right. That is basically a faceless machine that you have complaints. Too bad you can't do a thing about it.
You're screwed.
There's no customer service or anything to help you out. You're just done. So you got to diversify. And one of those ways we diversify is by podcast supporting memberships.
Excellent segue.
Those things have been going nuts lately. So thank you to whoever is, I shouldn't say whoever, we know exactly who you are, but thank you to the people signing up for the podcast supporting memberships, because it still blows our mind that people want to support us.
June was an exceptional month of. We've only been doing it for a little while, but June really picked up some great momentum on the supporting members.
It did, and not only did it bring up some great momentum, it brought a new level to the price plan.
Yeah.
We've had I think actually maybe in early June we added.
I think 2 new levels in June.
June brought 2 new levels. We started June with adding the 99-cent apple pie level, something classic, accessible for everyone.
That's the entry level.
That is the entry level.
Yeah.
It's
still delicious. Still a delicious. It's not
still satisfying, but it might leave you wanting a little more.
Right.
And then we had the $3 level, the LaCroix level for a person of a more refined taste. And then we thought, well, the high rollers have to exist at the lift shorts level, which is $6.
Yeah.
And of course, that is the high roller level until an even bigger high roller comes along and says, I want a $20 level.
They came to us and said, because you need a higher level.
To us, a $20 a month level sounds insane.
Yeah.
The what do we call it? The Platinum Lift Club?
Yeah. It's
the Platinum Lift Club level of $20 now exists, and there is a supporter there.
Yeah, and you know who I won't say your name because I don't know. Some people might not want their names.
Yeah, we don't want to call it.
But you'll listen. I mean, if you're paying $20 a month, you better be listening to this.
Or you really just have money to blow.
But you're listening. If you want your recognition for that, we would even give you recognition for that. But I'm not going to put anyone on blast in case they don't want to. But we do really appreciate that. We appreciate all the levels.
All
really.
of them, we do.
It is cool. It is quite the weird phenomenon, though. My people like my wife still have a really hard time wrapping my head around that.
Yeah, so that's really fun. It makes us even more excited to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always going to do this no matter what, but the level of excitement can increase with a few more supporters.
If anyone wants to support at a level higher, what about this? If anyone wants to support at a level higher than $20 per month, we will let you name
Are they allowed to chip the record at 1 cent?
No. See, that's a good point. You have to be at least probably like 50% above it or 25% above it or something.
Yeah.
But you could maybe even name or have influence in the naming of the level. I guess there's no limit to the number of levels we could have. It's just a few clicks of the button.
As far as I know, our website does not limit the number of options.
It's just I'm worried about things get out of whack if too many levels start to exist above the lift shorts. Because
that was supposed to be the ultra premium.
Right.
Yeah. It did almost throw our naming convention for a loop, but how do you make the most premium more premium? You add the word platinum.
Platinum plus platinum medallion members. It's like the boarding. Our supporting membership scheme system of naming is not all that unsimilar to the boarding of airplanes.
it's pretty similar to that actually. Yeah.
Last but not least, we're boarding the pieces of shit apple pie levels.
Yep. Now that the Platinum Lift Club has boarded everyone
the
else.
last person to board, you're the person that sits right next to the toilet on the airplane. You can get on. I have heard were they talking about switching the way that people board, like through the coronavirus thing, like actually
maybe.
putting the people on the back first so that it's not
I mean,
like
it would make
this.
sense. So not everyone walks by everyone, right?
The process of boarding and exiting planes sucks.
Oh yeah, there's like
Someone needs to invent
I'm pretty sure there's been like extensive studies on how
Okay.
like the way we do it is almost the most inefficient way. Like
Okay.
there's all types of different ways it could be done.
I'm glad to know that that's maybe
I
proven
think-
because it sure seems like it is, right?
Okay, I know there is a video. There's a YouTuber called CGP Grey where he like dives in on stuff. He has a video on this. I think he said that just letting people board randomly would actually be about the same amount of time as the way it goes right now. Like in no order at all.
Yeah.
Just come on, everybody, get on the plane.
Yeah.
I think he said that is about the same amount of time as what we have right now.
Huh.
Something to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, it takes no convincing of someone explaining to me that the system now sucks because it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those things of the past.
Yeah.
But thank you to everyone that has been sponsoring or supporting us. That is super awesome.
Let's get some more.
Yeah, let's get some more. Sign up a friend, steal your wife's phone, and sign up on hers too.
And we have been bouncing around some ideas of things that,
Yes,
because
yes.
that's the other thing. It is.
I should remind everyone that is not a one-way street. We don't have anything firm in writing, but we do send some surprises your way when you're in the club. So
Right.
something to keep in mind, and we are going to keep that going too. So if you have gotten a little surprise from us, don't think that's it. There'll be more coming.
Yeah, there'll be more little surprises.
Yeah. Gotta have the surprises. Tanner, did you see on Netflix? Have you been on Netflix lately?
Yes, I've seen Netflix.
There is a show on there called Home Game.
Don't know
And
it.
it's I haven't watched it yet. I just saw the trailer go. And it's like a 10 episode documentary. And it just all it does is focus on, I'll read their description here. Profiles unique and dangerous traditional sports from around the world, as well as the communities and cultures where they thrive. So looking at it,
Is powerlifting in there?
powerlifting is not, but the second episode is Highland Games.
Oh, nice.
So I haven't watched it yet.
Couple Highland Games vets right here.
I was going to say, as a veteran of the sport, I
Yeah.
probably won't learn anything
Yeah.
new, but it's not too often you see strength sports featured on a Netflix documentary of some kind. So it's always cool. When
Is it a good, well put together show?
I think it is, because I actually did start one up yesterday because it sounded insane, and then I got distracted, had to go away. But I'm going to say this wrong, but it's like Coke Baru, and it's in is it Kyrgyzstan? Is that how you say it? So it's like polo where the guys are on horses, but instead of having a ball, it's a dead goat. And it's pretty wild. I just started up a little bit, but yeah,
dead
I didn't get to
goat.
see the rest of it.
Is it dead when they start playing?
It's dead when they start playing,
Okay.
and they're basically trying to get it in this huge like hole, and they're supposedly it's a sport that's been done for thousands of years there. They also have roller derby, free
nice.
diving, something that involves wrestling in the Congo, and some other things that I don't know how to say. So
yeah.
25
sounds
minute
interesting.
episodes, you can plow through them in a hurry.
I'm interested in that. So that's on Netflix, you say?
Yeah,
I am
Home
interested
Game.
in that. The only show that I've been watching lately, which I'm addicted to, do you know the show Alone at all?
It's on Netflix though, isn't it?
Season 6, I think, is on Netflix, which is the most recent
I thought I saw a
season.
picture pop up.
It's now the only show that I like to watch until I'm done with it. And it's just the 2-minute gist of it is it's a reality show, and it's what I would call a real reality show in the sense that it takes 10 individuals and places them in the wilderness. They're all separated from each other. There's no contact with each other. And like on the first couple seasons, they're on Vancouver Island, which is on the West Coast, obviously, and very, not populated by humans. It's a giant rainforest, basically. I think it is considered not what you'd normally think of as a rainforest, but I think it technically is considered
Falls
a
into
rainforest
that?
because
Okay.
of how much it rains there. But it put them all there. They're all separated enough by water or land masses that none of them can get in contact with each other. They're probably in all like a 50-mile radius though. And they get to bring 10 survival items each, like saws or old-fashioned
Is
recurve
Segway
bows.
scooters allowed?
No, I haven't seen those. They might be, but I haven't seen anyone choose one.
Okay.
It's mostly like fire, little metal things you scrape to
Right,
start
like a
fires.
flint starter or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
that sort of thing. And whoever taps out last wins $500,000.
Oh, so it's a marathon.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Like, I won't say, but like the winners of some of this, it goes on for months for the winners.
Really?
Yeah. That they're alone in the woods.
So these people are good at what they're doing.
Yeah, some of them are. Some people are gone like day one, and I'm like, man, I could do that. Like, I could just
Find a spot to be somewhat comfortable and not move.
Yeah, and it's just really crazy. Also, these people have to become cameramen because they have to record themselves. Okay. Like, so they have mini cameras.
So do they have like a life alert button? Like when they're done, they push the button and they just come get them? Or?
Yeah, they have a phone and like a GPS thing and all that stuff. And or if in case they a lot of times people get severe cuts or bad bug things or that sort of, or they get scared to death of bears in the middle of the night, or like they're in Patagonia in one of the season and there's puma around.
Oh yeah.
And like they're known to they only like attack you from behind and like go for your throat. I'm like, that is insanely scary.
Okay. So this, did you ever watch Naked and Afraid?
I've seen it before, maybe.
So it sounds like almost the same concept as that. And I think in that one though, it's always, I have seen a decent amount of episodes. It's been a little bit, but I think it's always 2 people. And I think they try to make it a month, like 28 days, I think is what they try to go.
Right.
And it is shocking the number of people there that will fall out in the first like day or two.
Yes.
And then it's like one person just on their own for so long. And they also do the thing where they show like, all right, the person came in and they lost 40 pounds over the course of the month.
That happens a lot. And also like some of these people will not eat food for like 6 days. Because they can't catch any fish or they can't, and they eat mice and basically anything that, it's really interesting though. What I guess at the core, why I like it is because it is actually reality television.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is pretty entertaining. Like it's just taking people back a few centuries. And,
the producers can do things with the footage to maybe like time things and work things around and stuff to maybe make it more exciting than it right. Yeah. But really at the core, there is no like fake. There's very little fake stuff, at least as it appears to me on the surface. That's why I like it, though.
I'm mad if you get that on the list here. And
almost all the people break down emotionally. Also,
that doesn't surprise me.
Like being alone, no human contact for months.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
the old solitary confinement in the wild.
Yeah, and there's this carrot at the end of it, this $500,000 that people like, and most of the people doing this are not of means. So $500,000 is a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah.
So it's like these things happen to them that they have to tap out, like they get hurt and stuff, and it's like devastating to them because it was
almost in my fingers.
Really, and none of them know if anyone else is. None of them know the status of anyone else.
So you don't know if you tap out.
No,
if, like they just tell you when it's done, or
the person that wins, because they do towards the end, they have to do these health and welfare inspections. They have a doctor come check on them. I don't know if it's like once a week, because people will get so skinny but they will not, they refuse to quit that they will pull them because, your body uses its fat at first and then it starts to use its muscle and they're attacking the heart and that sort of thing. And so they will pull some people and they look anemic at that point. Like they look very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But what they do is for the actual winner, when they're going to win, they'll come out there for a health inspection. And then at the end of it, they'll interview them a little bit because they must do these interviews with them when they do these because they have a camera there. Yeah. And they'll have their spouse or their daughter or whoever come out from behind the trees randomly. And this is after months of them not seeing a family member. And like the reactions when they see their family member are pretty intense where I'm like, that is pretty crazy. You know, like you see those videos of where like someone comes home from being deployed for a year and some of the reactions when they have no idea and they just hear some rustling and they turn around and it's pretty crazy.
You've almost been a prisoner of war in your own mind this whole time. Yeah.
And they have no idea that it's over until that minute. And then you can just see the gears turning in their head where they're like, oh my God, you're here. And that just means I just won $500,000. Yeah. And it means I get to go home today.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So a good show. That was actually more of an explanation than I planned on giving.
Fairly in depth. We actually, you know what, Tanner, we have cans. We got to get to those too.
Great. What's in the cans?
Do you want to guess?
Oh, is it a guess? Yeah,
you can if you want.
Is it a guess?
I will give you the hint. You've had it before.
Okay.
But we also have now featured I don't know, 20 some flavors.
Okay.
So go ahead and take your chance there.
Give it my best shot.
Give it your best shot.
Pat Benatar.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Peach pear.
You're getting good.
Yeah, peach
You're
pear.
getting good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am getting better.
It is
I
one
would
of
have
the
never
classics,
known that was
though.
peach pear.
That is how I know your palate is refining, Tanner.
That's true.
How many people do you think you could give a peach pear that have never had a LaCroix and be like, taste this, and they'd be like,
No one would ever say peach pear.
this doesn't taste like anything. I think there's something wrong
Be
here.
like, nothing? Flavorless bubbly water?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should we mention at all that we were on someone else's podcast for like the first?
Well, we probably could because
it would be out before, that podcast comes out before this podcast comes out.
Oh, is it on the?
Yeah, I
the,
think it's
the
supposed-
order of things.
Yeah, because I just
Well, even if
put
it's not, I mean, it's going to be really
not
soon.
a huge
so,
secret,
yeah.
but to put it in context, it's Wednesday. The podcast we were on, we already recorded last week or like 10 days ago, maybe even. That comes out Friday. And then this show comes out Monday.
Yeah, so we were on the Starting Strength podcast
with Mark Ripto.
like 10 days ago. And it was, for us, it was an unusual experience because we've never been a guest on someone's podcast before. We've never done it. And then to have it be someone that's pretty high profile in the strength industry. Like
For sure. Like there's not many people that don't know who Mark Ripto is.
Yeah. Like I remember when I first started getting more into lifting, like 2010-ish, he was one of the few people that I came across like instructional videos on YouTube fairly regularly.
Yep.
Like that was an untapped market at the time. Like that was not a thing. If you're looking for like deadlift and squat tips on what is the way I'm supposed to be doing this, there wasn't a lot out there. And he had quite a bit of content even then.
Yep.
So that's, I mean,
He wrote the book on it.
He did write the book
He
on it.
wrote the book on it.
Yeah. And, so it was kind of a weird thing. Like, oh my God, we're doing a podcast with this. And like, he's known who we are for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think he follows the social media world of
No, not
fitness
like
super close. So there was probably, I mean, he's definitely some things that we do that he has no idea about.
Right. And some of his people that work with Starting Strength know us better.
Yes. Some of his team members, you could say, are younger team members are very in the loop on what we do, and that's I think probably where the connection really started there was through them. But it was a unique experience being on his. Didn't like we when we have guests on, we have a fairly good idea of what we want to ask them. And we just tell them, don't worry about anything. And it was like, what, do we have to have stuff prepared to ask you? And
well, that's what it's hard not to look at it from the point of view as the people running the show. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, no, we're just here. Like, you guide us, we hopefully have something interesting to say. Otherwise, what are we even doing on a podcast of someone else's?
The big one for me, I think you would agree with this, Tanner, is I think the pacing of our podcast, I think
they're much different.
I think we're kind of firing off things.
Yeah.
Like we understand, we've done this long enough that we know when one person gets done talking, the other one can go right away.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have a huge list of notes for what we want to talk about, but the conversation flows fairly fast the whole time, I would say. Mark Ripto moves at a very different pace than our pace.
Yeah. Yes.
Very different.
Like, and that's by his nature. That's the way
who
he is.
It's not because he has nothing to say. He has tons to say. It's just he says it. His delivery is very different. And there was multiple times.
There's pauses.
Oh,
there's these pauses.
We don't have pauses very often. Pauses are rare for us. We don't have anything so profound to say that it needs to set
Soak
in.
it. Be like, now I'm going to keep my mouth closed for 5 seconds while you process what I just told you.
That's why.
Yeah.
And there's no time for reflection in what we're doing.
No.
We're just moving along. But whether he means it or not, he has time for reflection in his.
Yeah.
And there was several times where I remember thinking,
are we supposed to say something now?
are we supposed to? And it's like, you're about to say, and then he goes again. It's like, okay, yep.
Yeah.
That's just one of his breaks there. Yep. So, that was probably the biggest change was, oh yeah, we're on someone else's show. We go at their pace now.
Yeah. Mark's obviously very opinionated. If anyone that doesn't follow them, like very, very opinionated on almost everything, he probably has an opinion. But I don't know. It was cool being on there. It was cool. We got to play our overrated, underrated game on his podcast with him.
Yeah. And then the other thing, you never know how like an episode's going to be edited. Like we almost don't edit our episodes like at all.
Right. And they do, I think, a little bit more.
I think they do a little bit. I mean, just because they had said at times like, all right, there will be some edits here.
Yeah.
Our conversation was, I think it was a little over an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know if the actual thing will be a little over an hour, if it'll be 45 minutes. It's one of those things you always wonder, like, all right, what does make the cut? Does it all
Right.
make the cut, or does some things just go away?
Right.
So yeah, I'll be curious to hear that one. And
Yeah. And you can watch it on YouTube. He has it
Yeah,
up on
we did
YouTube.
record-
and
yeah, we did record.
we're on a television screen next to him, I believe is the way that's going to look, what that'll look like on the video.
so fun experience.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. Probably excited to see how famous it makes us here next week.
It actually, they do. Starting Strength has a very strong group of supporters behind them.
They do. They really do.
Like they've
It
shared
was a
some-
cool opportunity for us, really.
Yeah, they've shared some stuff of ours in the past, and it was obvious that the Starting Strength crowd was resonating with them, because
Yeah.
we saw some pretty interesting numbers move around.
Yeah.
And so it'll be curious, to see if this does anything from that point of view.
Well, so make sure to go listen to that to hear us, see how we're different on someone else's show too.
yeah, it is different. It is. I was much more nervous for that.
Than for what we do normally.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I mean, we can at least talk about what we want to talk about. I don't know what we're gonna have to talk about on someone else's show,
right,
or if they'll have anything for us to talk about at all.
right.
Well, should we get ready for our interview here, Tanner?
I think so.
All right, but before we get to that interview, we got ads to read, and that means that this episode of the Massenomics podcast is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, that's MASS in all caps, for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. Today's show was also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe and began addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowers.com. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large sets the new standard for customer service within the strength world. Get email responses in hours, not days. They now have live website chat support available during the weekdays, so you can get advice from a real powerlifter with actual platform experience. The Lifting Large team wants to help you achieve new PRs in the gym and on the competition stage. When you're ready to try single ply and make your way to the dark side, give them a call. Lifting Large is home to the ground lock deadlift slipper, and it's always in stock and always ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20, that's MASS20, at checkout to save 20% on all Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's at liftinglarge, DOTCOM. And last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Spud Inc. Looper Strap. Serious athletes know that adding chains to your bench or squat will build strength. The Looper straps are designed for exactly that purpose, easily wrapping around any traditional or specialty bar to give you space for more than 10 chains on each side. The Looper strap can be adjusted to accommodate different lifter heights, and chains can be placed at different positions in the adjuster loops to target your specific weak points. Outside of the big lifts, the looper straps add an extra challenge to almost any exercise and even work as standalone alternatives to traditional dumbbell movements like the bicep curl or tricep extension. You can check out Spud Inc. and the looper straps online at spud-inc-straps.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Should we try and get Big Julius on the phone?
Might as well.
Hello.
Excuse me, sir. We were trying to find the man with the biggest bench press of all time.
This is him. Can you hear me?
Oh,
You guys hear me?
what a
Yep.
coincidence.
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
All right, awesome. Glad to have you on, Julius.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Well, man, start off with the most important thing. I like to ask everyone this. We featured you in a really big battle recently. You went against Orange Julius in Massenomics versus. Do you think you came out on top in that
Yeah,
one?
I dusted him off the dribble. I dusted him.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete with a 775-pound bench press.
Yeah. It is. Not too long one.
Go ahead.
So how are you feeling these days? What's after the big show? What's training look like? What's life looking like right now?
So currently, we're doing a reboot. We're just going back, scaling everything back. We're gonna get a bunch of volume in. This is typical. This is what I've done over the past 5 years. Nothing has really changed. So how it goes. You just lower the intensity. Crank up the volume and go at it. So just trying to, and especially focus on my weaknesses, which is obviously my left arm. I don't know why I'm always having issues with that side. It's not that it's weak or I've had surgery or injury. It just gives out first. So we're working in some things to help strengthen that left side.
Right on. We talked with Big TD Smash last week, actually, and we got to talk about the big beasts of the bench meet and everything, too. And I know it's kind of in the past now, but just wondered if you had any take in particular on that meet. And also, I mean, what a lot of people would be curious about is the misload. I mean, that was probably the craziest thing that could have happened. I just wondered what your thoughts were on that.
I mean, of course, after the meet, in the heat of the moment, there's many different emotions, I've kind of experienced through that. But in the moment, I was very angry, just upset, very emotional about it, and then I kind of moved to a phase where I was like, it happens, for a couple of days, and then you start to think, like, did they, and I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying, did someone spitefully set this up from the beginning?
That would be terrible.
Intentionally? Yeah. And these are just thoughts that are playing through my head, not accusing anyone of anything. I'm very close to the owner of the gym, and those were, his spotters. So I'm not really, putting the blame on anybody. It's just out of, 10 people around, how do you not or misload the weight? How do you misload the weight? I just, that's a question that we'll always continue to ask,
Yeah, that's a super high profile lift to be missing the weight on. Like we compared it the other day to saying the idea of someone misloading Thor's 500 kilo deadlift or 501, like that wouldn't happen. Why would that ever happen? And you would think the same thing on the bench. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that you had to be in a situation like that.
Yeah, and I mean, a deadlift, like, you can feel it right away, right?
Yeah.
You come with the bench, yeah, you can feel it right away. But once the weight's out and over your head, over your face, over your body,
Yeah.
it's over your body. There ain't no coming back from that. Unless you got good things that they were right there, anticipating that something, could possibly go wrong. So I'm just, like I said, there's still frustration behind it. I'm not mad at any specific person. Just more mad about the situation of just getting robbed in general.
Yeah, it sucks.
Go ahead.
Oh, it sucks. It's terrible.
Sucks. Then I got to deal, with telling a 100,000 people, hey, look, it happens, and people are more pissed off about it than I am. Because I mean, ultimately, in order for me to move past it, move forward, I have to put it behind me. So it's very, very hard. But just the fact also that when we're trying to monetize powerlifting to where the athletes get some kind of payment, it doesn't matter. Even if it's $100, $200, they pick the worst day to do that. To not be on their P's and Q's when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Broadcasted across the world on ESPN, #1 sports platform on the planet. We built the hype up. It had plenty of viewers, and dropped the ball. Just dropped the ball. You got 4 national judges. Ed Cohn was there, and they kind of like put him in the background, and that's one thing that pissed me off too. Is I get their rules and regulations and all that stuff. They just try to be too strict, and maybe I'm talking a little too much, but anyway, I think that they should have gave Ed more leadway. Maybe he would have caught it.
Right. And there was a lot of judging, talking to Thomas last week, the butts off the bench. I can't recall seeing that called that many times ever, let alone with the best benchers in the world.
Yeah. I mean, again, it made the whole process of this just look like a clown did it. I mean, it was a show. It was a clown show, and I'm not because they were very, very professional. But whenever you are so strict in one area and you forget to follow up on the other area, it makes you look like it's not what I'm just saying. It's what other people are saying to me.
Right.
So it just makes them look, kind of funny. So
Yeah.
Anytime I talk about it, I get hyped up.
Yeah.
I'll get fired up.
You should be though.
Yeah,
it'd be weird if you didn't care.
Right.
Yeah, because man, I put time into this. This ain't
right.
We ain't talking and I know my time that I've been in the sport of powerlifting hasn't been as long as others, but I put in just as much work. I sweat just as much. I felt the pain just as much. So there's times where trying to balance life and powerlifting almost broke me. Like this is just deeper than that. Like I'm dealing with my life here.
Yep.
My well-being. And it just, I have so much passion for people and I want to see people win, but I mean, there's got to come a point to where, again, that somebody at this level is about to do something that nobody has ever done. Again, we have to make sure that we follow up on every single thing, especially if we're going to call and point out the small things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If we're going to call those things out, this is obvious. It's a gimme. And it fell through the cracks. But again, I get it. We're all human. We make mistakes. And, I'm just going to move past it. My platform, don't get me wrong. I was angry. I wanted to flip some stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to say some stuff that I didn't, I just didn't want to get out of character because my platform is full of, kids and teenagers, not just, athletes and people who, love the sport or love what I'm about. My audience is a lot of younger people and their parents are following too. And, that's a part of who I am today. And I'm big in serving my community. So I want to be an example.
Yeah. And I think that says a lot about your character though, that because a lot of people in your situation would just go off. And I mean, you see it at even local meets of people freaking out and pissed off about everything. And so the fact that you kept it together in a situation like that, I think that does say a lot about who you are.
Yeah. It tested me. That's probably one.
Yeah.
Since I've been living a different lifestyle. That's probably been one of the biggest tests that I've experienced as far as in a public setting to where things could have went really wrong. But, I handled it like I've always talked about and said I would, any kind of adversity or anything like that, and the biggest thing I get out of it is that I live another day to hit the platform again. So I know that next time I hit the platform, it's gonna be a smoke show. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, I'm gonna show the world what I'm made of, and then we're gonna go and transition to other sports, and we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, and I think you have a track record of doing that already too, because you take a look at when you originally broke the world record. There was some controversy or something about the lift, but then not long after that, you go, I don't know if it's, the numbers, but 30 pounds more and crush it. So then all of a sudden, everyone completely forgets that even was a thing, just months down the road. And I can picture this being the exact same thing. There was this misload and just shitty circumstances, for you. But then I could very well see this 800 pounds getting crushed, and then all of a sudden everyone kind of forget, this is just a small bump in the road at that point.
At this point, yeah, I think so. But man, that sticks out. It's like you're not.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
think people will ever forget that.
I
it's
agree.
Just something that it is what it is. But this goes back before then. Whenever the first time I broke the 700-pound barrier, I hit 705. This is at a RPS meet. Hit 705. Then I went to 723 to break the national record at that time. And as I was coming out to get on the bench, they noticed that they misloaded the weight.
Wow.
So
how can that be happening with that much? I
don't know. I think people are just shocked about it.
Yeah.
Again, they're just in awe of it. The weight, it's something. Again, we've never seen anybody do something to this.
You hate to make excuses for people, but you just wonder, is 700 pounds on the bench is not something that anyone ever loads. So it just must be such uncharted territory that people are messing it up that much. I don't know.
I put myself in that circumstance of I'm the loader for the meet, and I don't want to bash anyone too much, but if I'm the loader for that meet, I would be so nervous. I would look at it, I would count it 10 times. Like I would look back onto the screen, look at, you couldn't count it enough times. I would be counting it right up until the moment you walk out there to do it. Cause that's
yeah, I get it. I agree. From loader all the way up to the judges.
Right.
Some guy commented and said, it's his fault. Him and his spotter should have added the weight up and make sure it's correct before.
Your fault?
Yeah, you know how it is. Social media, guys are just they're full of it though.
Yeah.
So
imagine that though, like that's what you're gonna worry about at that point in time with everything you've got to get into there. And
I know, right?
That's clearly a person that doesn't understand how this works at all. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and see, so again, and then trying to manifest that fire that you get, the adrenaline rush, and trying to build that back up is nearly impossible. Even if I would have waited, 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's just, you can't. That was my first ever 800-pound attempt, so it didn't set well. So just the mental game is like, do I have it? Is it there?
Yeah, that's a hurdle for sure there.
We talked about that exact thing a while ago about what you're talking about. This was like a build up for months to this one moment, and you progressively got probably more intense over that whole time to build up to that one moment on the bench press, and then it gets screwed up. It's crazy.
And that's what happened, and it's just like how does one? And I'm thinking in my head, I knew whenever I hit that bench, I knew that 800 was going to go up on that misload. I knew that I was going to smoke that weight. And it was just, stuff happened and went for another attempt. And at the end of the day, I didn't get the weight. I didn't come home with the weight regardless of misloads, regardless of anything. That's a fact. So that's what I have to tell myself is regardless of any, because I used to have problems with going to different meets, and I would hit weights in the gym and then be kind of shaky when it came to the actual meet day on my lifts. So I just, I had to have a mindset of wherever I went, it doesn't matter what I have to face, any adversity when it comes to meet day, that I'm gonna bury it. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna kill it out. And establishing that mindset at that point in time, like I'm about to go bury this weight, and nothing's gonna stop me. And I get to the bench and I'm fired up and I'm ready to go, and this happens. It was just, it was no way for me to bounce back. But moving forward is like, you have to make sure that undisputedly that you go get this weight without any disputes. Any disputes. It is what it is. So
Do you have a plan in place for what your next meet would be like, or is that still something that you're working on?
I mean, we're building it up.
Yep.
I'm talking to some people. We're trying to make this thing happen, and have a bigger platform, have it again televised, and make it shake. I'm just trying to pioneer a way for other athletes, for the next Julius Maddox that comes, and give them an opportunity to be able to display their feature strength in front of the world.
I'm not positive yet if there's going to be another Julius Maddox.
There's going to be I know, I'm just saying,
yeah.
If a comparison, I get it. I'm just, but it's the truth though, whether it's going to be a squatter, a deadlifter, or a bencher,
right.
Those, I know what the lifters experience and what they have to go through. And for them to, just have little recognition of something that they put in so much time for, they deserve better. They deserve more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to make it to where, other lifters get to display their talents in front of everybody, in front of the world, have that opportunity,
Yeah, for sure. What about, and I you might not necessarily have or want to talk about the answer to this, but I just wonder, you kind of mentioned something on the TV broadcast even, and I know you've talked about the log press before. I just wonder, I know the next goal down the road is to get this 800-pound bench, but is there something, do you have some leaning towards competing in strongman at some point in time?
Yeah, I want to break the log press record.
Do you have much training experience with the log right now?
I mean, I can overhead press 500 pounds.
Right.
Right. Easy, don't get me wrong. It is. I've done my fair share of trying to, adjust to that type of training. Not necessarily training, but the log press is very. You have to have it down to a pat as far as technique.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can't just man this up.
Mm-hmm.
Though I can press it if it's at my shoulders. It's about, the rolling it up over your chest and getting it in position.
Yep.
And I have a big belly. So ultimately I'm going to have to lose weight to get to where I need to be on, for the log press. But, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
I'm really excited for that.
That's you just, the biggest bench of all time and the biggest log press of all time would be pretty sweet.
That's an impressive resume.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, like, and not just that, like, I want to go into it for, just like a dream of mine or another goal, I would say, is to completely be the world's strongest man.
Yep.
Can I do it in 2 years? I don't know. I'm not putting a cap on this, but I want to do it.
Yeah. So that would be, and that's what I thought you were getting at. And, I wasn't positive, but that will be very cool to, for us as spectators to watch as you go down that road too. That'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I just want to, a lot of times I go deeper than probably what I should, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the truth. I want to make sure that any opportunity that I have in life, that I follow up on it. I've heard too many people that had done something in their life and wish that they sought out to do other things also. And I just don't want those opportunities to pass by, because one day I know that I'll look back and I'll regret those moments that I didn't take those chances. So I'm just going to leave her empty. I'm going to make sure that I've poured out and done every single thing that I had an opportunity to do. So that's kind of, it may seem cheesy, but You know, I want to just like whenever you're a kid and somebody tells you how you can be whatever you want to be, that's kind of how I am right now. Whatever I want to be, I'm gonna be it. I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah, well, you're doing it, man.
Dallas Cowboys called me. If the Dallas Cowboys called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, look, we got a spot for you. Come on down." Hey, sign me up.
I was literally waiting when you were finished. I was going to ask. Let's see. You live in Kentucky, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the closest NFL team is to you, but that wouldn't be crazy for them to be like, hey, why don't you come? Like for them to bring you in for a pro day or something and bring you in and test you out at D tackle or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to experience it. I think that at the end of the day, again, whatever I set my mind to with the drive that I have today is I'm gonna be best at whatever I do. So, if it came to that, I'm gonna be the best at that position. So, if I had that opportunity, I'm telling you, I'd take it real quick.
I'd like to see that too.
I would love to see it.
Yeah. Julius, we've got this little game we play each week. It's called Overrated Underrated. We go over a few topics, and whoever we're playing with has to decide if each thing is overrated or underrated. You can't really ride the line in between. You got to decide on one. We've got some topics, especially handpicked for Big Julius today. Are you down to play?
All right, let's get it.
All right. And
guys, don't judge me.
Well, I just warning you got big shoes to fill because Big TD Smash did pretty good last week. So
all right, let's get it then. We're gonna see.
Okay. All right. Topic number 1: overrated or underrated fat pads?
Underrated.
What did you bench on in this last meet? I'm curious. How wide is that pad that you're allowed to use in those meets?
I think it was the actual certs that qualifies for USPA. So it's like 12
inches wide. Yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that.
When you're training, are you always training on a fat pad?
Yes. Recently, I've been training on a ghost bench, and they have
their wide pad or whatever it's called. Yeah.
The idea of using a standard bench pad doesn't even seem possible.
I have to do it. Really, no place really allows you to bench on a fat pad.
Well, and people that are listening that maybe haven't seen you in person before, we have met you in person before, and like the thought of you using the same bench width.
I would just say everyone else just like bench on a 2x4 maybe, and that's what it's like for you.
That's what it's like, So
I think it's more of a balancing act then.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I think that's more of a balancing act for you than a lift at that point.
It is. So just imagine trying to stabilize 800 pounds on a toothpick. But the ghost is, I don't know what I'm talking about, but their pads are seem a little wider and thicker than your average pad. So, but still, if it's not, just to be honest, it's not like the width of a fat pad. That's where I feel most comfortable. I get more leverage. My back is supported, so I feel like I utilize, more muscles, simply because I'm more stable.
Right. It makes perfect sense. And it's one of those things that's kind of, it's like, when you think about it, why is that the rule even, that it can be 12 inches wide? I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, why should that be the limiting factor of how much you can bench?
Man, I have no idea. They should at least let like the super heavies, bench on a fat pad.
Yeah.
Or some kind of pad that's wider, because at the end of the day, I'm 460, 6'3", 460. I train back 4 days a week, some type of muscle group, and it's almost impossible to stay stable. I guess I've just learned to be able to hold off on it and keep my balance for a brief time, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said underrated on fat pads though, for sure.
Yeah, they underrate them.
Okay. All right. Topic number 2. We know you're from Kentucky, not too far away. And we're from South Dakota. We're up here up north. We don't have a lot of experience in that neck of the woods. But overrated or underrated Nashville, Tennessee?
Underrated.
Is that I mean, you're like a.
So
probably,
what do you mean about Nashville? Like
Just
as far as
the city.
Yeah.
What's it all about?
Yeah, the experience.
nightlife,
You know,
the
it's
experience.
y'all
a lot
never
of-
been there?
No, we never
No.
have been, and we know you're pretty close. So
Music City, yeah, y'all love it. I promise you, you'd love it especially if you like different genres of music, and obviously country music. But it's just there's a lot of places to eat. I'm all about food. I love food. And they have some pretty good places down there. You know, it's a place to go. I'm only 2 hours from Nashville, so
right.
if you want to get away, because I live in a little small country, a little small town, and we're like rural area, so it's easy just to go to Nashville, get a hotel room, and have a good time with your friends or your significant other.
Right on. So you said you love food. This fits in
Yes.
perfect with our next topic, and also something we don't have around here. Overrated or underrated Chick-fil-A?
Oh, underrated.
Underrated. What's your go-to from Chick-fil-A?
All right, so I'm about to give you a fat hack real quick. Okay?
All right. We got some from Thomas Davis last week too, so you're up to bat now.
Have you ever ate Chick-fil-A?
I've had it
I've
a
had
few
it a couple
times.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was your experience? I'm sorry, I just have to ask you real quick.
Mine was fine.
It was good.
It was good.
What'd you guys get?
I've had their chicken sandwich. I've had their do they call them strips or their nuggets, whatever? I don't know. I've
They
had
will
the
have
chicken.
strips. I think they do have strips too, but mostly they're little nuggets.
I've just had like the regular chicken sandwich that has like pickles on it, I think, and that sort of that
Yeah,
one.
see, I don't know if that's your sort of thing, but I get mine dressed. I like, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, but you always got to have the Chick-fil-A sauce. You got to dip it. But so they have macaroni now.
Oh.
And their macaroni is not like the macaroni you get from KFC or wherever else you get macaroni from. This macaroni seems like it's made by angels. And you take this macaroni and you get the chicken sandwich with the lettuce, tomato, and you pour the macaroni on top of the chicken sandwich.
Oh,
Okay.
I can dig
And
that.
then you take the Chick-fil-A sauce, and you pour it on top of everything. Macaroni, the sandwich, the chicken. And if you're really feeling saucy, then you can go with they have a cheese sauce too, almost like a queso.
Okay,
yeah.
Cheese
Dipping
sauce makes
sauce.
everything better.
So you can get that and throw that in there. So you can kind of dip at a little bit every now and then. But that's my go-to. You're making me hungry.
All right. Oh,
I'm hungry now too.
a quick follow-up to that question. Big TD Smash told us that we always like to get people's input on fast food dessert. He was a big McDonald's holiday pie fan. Do you have any fast food desserts that you could recommend?
Oh, so here's a fat hack. TD's close. He's there. He's almost there. But have you ever took an apple pie and crushed it up in the ice cream?
I've never done that. I have heard people say that before, though.
You take the apple pie, you crush it up, put it in ice cream, or you can put it in the little the yogurt mix that they have.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yogurt with the berries. That's even
Yeah,
better.
the parfait thing or whatever.
With
Yeah.
the yogurt and berries. But I don't know if you guys know this, but not Dairy Queen, but Burger King has the best apple pie on the planet.
I didn't even know Burger King had
Really?
apple pie.
But I mean, here in Kentucky they do. And let me
Okay.
tell you what, their apple pie, when it's heated up, they're supposed to come hot. When it's heated up, I promise you, you're not gonna find a better apple pie. Than
So
Burger King.
is Burger King, because McDonald's calls it the apple pie, but I don't know. It's questionable if that's pie. Does Burger King's look like a piece of pie, or what does Burger King's look
It
like?
looks like a piece of pie.
Okay.
So they're keeping it classic with that one.
Yeah.
And it's got the crumbles on it.
Oh, it's
Crust
fancy
crumbles.
then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's next to greatness.
All right, I got to get that on the list.
Yeah,
then.
that's all great advice that
Uh-huh.
we got from you here. Okay. That's great. Okay, last topic, and this is probably the biggest, hardest hitting topic on Overrated Underrated this week.
All
Is
right.
overrated or underrated riding lawnmowers?
Oh, how is that even a question? I mean, of course, it depends. It depends. I mean, are you talking about 0 turns or just like a regular riding lawnmower?
Well, I think we dug up a picture of you, and I'm pretty sure you were on a 0 turn.
0 turn, baby. Even though it looked like the donkey on Mario Kart, let me tell you what, 0 turns are it. If you got, I would say a half acre or more, then you need a 0 turn.
Yep.
It's just, I used to look at people and be like, how are they even enjoying mowing their yard? Like, that's stupid. And, you know, I found myself, I got my beats on, whether a podcast
Yep.
or wherever the case may be, music, and I'm just out mowing the yard, you know, just thinking and processing things. So it's apart from, you know, my allergies bothering me, like I like doing it, like mowing the yard. Now, I've been paying somebody to do it now because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's times where, you know, if I'm free, then I'll get out and mow it.
Yeah.
It's like that form of
I thought y'all was gonna
meditation
ask
for
me,
you.
like, raw versus equipped.
No, just the hard hitting issues here.
No, just the lawnmower and Chick-fil-A questions.
Hey, those are the most important.
That's right. Well, you good news.
Overrated.
Yeah, good news though. You passed and you did great on Overrated Underrated this week. You knocked it out of the park, I'd say.
Awesome. Perfect credit score.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of wraps up what we had for you. Is there anything like in the way of things you got going on? I know you're selling some irregular strength shirts and that sort of thing, or any sponsor stuff you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, you know, of course, got to give some my sponsors a shout out. But we got Ghost Strong. Y'all familiar with them?
You bet. Love their stuff. It doesn't really get better.
Strong equipment. Yeah, the best equipment on the planet. Like seriously, heavy duty, good stuff. We got MHP. We have Hustle Butter. This is something that I would tell everybody to try out. Really, especially when you're you know, going to the gym a lot. You're always banged and banged up and bruised. You got to get you some Hustle Butter CBD Lux. Hustle Butter CBD Lux.
Okay.
That stuff it works phenomenal. Then we have who else we got? We got I hate when people ask me that because I'll start because there's a list of them. But we got Obsidian smelling salts. We got
we're down with those guys.
We have Life Balance CBD. The gummies are fire. They're great. They work well, especially for recovery. And you know, my home gym. That's about it right there. You know, wrapping it up. But ultimately, my wife and got to give glory to God. It wraps everything up.
Awesome. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate you having you on here. We'd like to do it again someday, and we'll be excited to watch you hit that 800 and everything you do after that.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for those fast food tips.
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta give me some feedback. Let me know what the deal is.
Yeah, we'll let you know what everyone's response is to how you did too. I think
here's another one. I'm sorry. I just
no, that's perfect. What do you got,
guys? Denny's has a banana cream pancake that is out of the world, and one more is probably one of the latest is Wendy's.
Yep.
Has the new breakfast menu.
TD Smash.
Oh yeah, he said the breakfast baconator, right?
Yeah, I think
and the honey biscuit.
Oh yeah, see, I haven't had that yet.
Oh,
look, I'm telling you, go there in the morning. It's it. You know, Wendy's that sausage, bacon sausage baconator, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The breakfast sandwich it's out this world. I mean, and the wedges. Man, I just get, you know, I have passion behind it.
Do you like Frosties?
Frosties are all right.
They're not great though, are they?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're not great. I mean, they're all right.
They're not great.
I mean, ice cream's always good.
Yeah.
Ice cream's always better, but they do have chocolate chip cookies, and you can take those chocolate chip cookies, crush them up into your Frosties.
The crumble.
It changes the game.
Yeah, makes sense.
But other than that, that's about it. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
I'll catch you guys on the next round.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
That was fun.
That was fun. That was great. he had great tips.
He did have some great tips.
Yeah,
the one thing that I just wanted to like laugh about the whole time is when he says, you know, I do what I do now. I really dial back the intensity, and I'm thinking like your dialed back intensity is still more than anyone else lifts like ever.
his dialed back intensity was like 585 pounds for sets of 6 or
Exactly.
like with
Yes.
the band.
It doesn't make
yeah.
any sense. Like that
No.
is your dialed back intensity.
Yeah.
Like the scale is just so off
Way out of
what
whack.
everyone else in the world does.
No, that was really fun having him on. I thought he had like a lot of interesting points. In A, first we kicked off with some serious stuff, and then B, he did great with
Over, under.
yeah.
Might have entered an apple pie competitor
Yeah,
into the race
yeah.
here that we didn't know existed.
Yeah, so Julius, not just a great bench presser, also a great overrated, underrated player. Yeah.
Wow.
That was great.
Man of many talents.
That's true. Should we hear from our sponsors?
I think
or-
so. I think we should.
Also, before that, the 8-bit powerlifting tees came restock here today. Like they just showed up at my door. They're as we're talking, they're not restocked on the website, but definitely by the time you're listening to this, they are. So we've been out of. Those were a pretty big hit.
Yeah,
we had to.
most sizes sold out pretty fast.
Yeah, we had to get more of those. So now should be back to all sizes again available. So the 8-bit powerlifter, and boy, do we have cool new stuff in the
do.
works.
July. It's going to be a few weeks, but
yeah.
July, hopefully by the end of the month.
Yeah, maybe like third-ish week in July if things go.
Yeah, we got some pretty cool things in the pipeline here.
Okay, but from the sponsors of our show, Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper. The Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper is kind of the Massenomics podcast of deadlift slippers. How about that?
You know, yeah, you can flip it on its head like that, can't you?
They're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching, whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both. Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Please make sure to use our discount code MASS, M-A-S-S. That'll save you 5% off any training and nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. And today's show was brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission, so he set out to make his own bar, what he believed it was the greatest bar that he'd ever seen and trained with. The Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit texaspowers.com. Thank you, sponsors. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube.
Hit us up on Instagram.
Hit us up on Instagram. How do they find you on Instagram?
You can follow me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird. More importantly, follow Massenomics at Massenomics. See ya.
See ya.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, wrong button. Let's try that again.
Oh, wait. Someone complained that we haven't been utilizing the buttons enough.
Oh,
Brandon
okay.
Amos said we haven't been.
Okay.
Can you give... Yeah.
That one's no good.
Massenomics.
Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And
Okay, there we... Now that makes up for the last couple of
let's
weeks.
do it.
Okay.